What's up everybody, it's Robin Gaming here. So this is like the first time in a very long while that I've done a commentary video without a camera involved. So gotta say, feels kind of freeing, but nonetheless, this video is actually going to be about the top 10 current game sales that are going on the PlayStation Store for Black Friday. Of course, Black Friday is taking place tomorrow, so there's some huge deals all around the world, especially of course in America, because that's where it's easily the biggest, of course. But nonetheless, like there's actually also some pretty good deals in other territories, regardless, including Europe. And so what I wanted to do is make a top 10 list of my, pretty much to me, what the most interesting Black Friday deals currently are out there. Mainly, once again, centered on America, but also a couple of European deals in there. While at the same time, I'll make sure to also mention what the prices will be in the other region. So yeah, it's going to be definitely an interesting video. This list is purely just based on, the very interesting sales that are going on and how much I actually enjoyed those games at the same time, of course, because I'm not going to be, recommending games and great sales, for certain games that I didn't maybe even play or enjoy that much. So yeah, this is going to be very, very personal. Let's actually just dive into it, right? So, I'm gonna start off with 3 quick game sales that are all for like $20, and that's the thing, I'm keeping everything under $20, so just getting that out of the way. The first 3 are gonna be exactly at that $20 mark. At number 10 I put Rise of the Tomb Raider. The game is currently on sale for Black Friday in the American store for just $20, like I said. Sadly not in the European store, it's still 60 euros there, but of course Rise of the Tomb Raider, it's not a game that I enjoyed a lot, I gotta say. I especially enjoyed the Tomb Raider reboot a little more, but nonetheless, of course, I mean, if you like the action adventure type genre, then this is definitely something to recommend, because it's just very similar to certain other games that you've played in the genre. It has a great looting system, it has great gameplay nonetheless. I just thought that the story and characters could have been somewhat better, but once again, for $20, definitely a game to consider. At number 9 I put Horizon. This game is also currently $20 on the American store, in sale. In the European store I checked and it's 30 euros, so it's not too big of a difference. But the reason I put it here is of course that Horizon was simply one of the biggest games of this year. So the fact right now that you can already get it in the store for $20, it's pretty cheap, and I would definitely recommend it because the game is a lot of fun. Like, it's just a very well made game. Reminds you a lot of the typical Ubisoft open world type formula, but it's done well, and that's really what's most important. I personally don't think that the game is like mind-blowing or something, which is what some people make it out to be, because I felt that the story and the characters were definitely somewhat flawed. But regardless, it's a game that I've had a ton of fun with, and it just does that Ubisoft open world formula, very well. So make sure to get the game for $20, like I said. At number 8 is Uncharted The Lost Legacy. That game is also, like I said, $20 in the American store. No sale right now in Europe yet, sadly. It's still 40 euros there. Another game that came out this year, actually came out just a few months ago, and there's not much more I can add than saying that of course it's an Uncharted game, so make sure to eventually get around to playing it if you for some reason had not done so already. $20 once again is a great price for that one. Now we're actually going to get to some prices that are even going to be lower than that, so I think this is where things are going to start getting relatively interesting. We're going to start off slow with, at number 7 actually, Steep. It's a very personal pick because, of course, this is not a game that's for everyone, but I myself really enjoy the extreme sports types game. And, Steep is just one of the rare games that we're getting in that genre at the moment, and I played it last year, and while, it wasn't a very popular game or didn't get a lot of hype behind it, I really enjoyed myself with it. I got the Platinum Trophy in it, and I would just say, if you like those type of games, for example, the Skate series that I myself really enjoyed, then right now you can get Steep for $16 once again in the American store. In Europe right now it's still 32, so the price there is a little steep, no pun intended, but yeah, for $16 in America, make sure to, to look into it if you think you'll enjoy that type of game. Then we're gonna move to number 6, and that's Bloodborne. Of course, still right now one of the best you know, current PlayStation 4 exclusives, I would say. The Bloodborne Game of the Year edition is actually on sale in Europe for only 18 euros. So that means you get both the full game and the Old Hunters DLC with it. If you're from America, if that's the store you use right now, it's $35 for the complete edition, and just the full game, the regular game itself, is 20. So that's still pretty cheap, I would say. You know, many people always ask me, like, you know, Robin, am I gonna enjoy Bloodborne? I'm maybe a little afraid of the fact that, you know, the game seems to be so difficult. That's what people always talk about, and that's true. But I feel like, especially for this price, now is the time to really look into it and just bite the bullet. And I think that many of you are going to simply enjoy the game and be surprised by it. I think that the difficulty is actually a little overrated in these games, because you can always like farm and make it easier for yourself if that's what you need, you know what I'm saying? But regardless, like, it's a game with a great vibe, you know, awesome, satisfying gameplay, lots of content there, and just, you know, also actually an intriguing story as far as the lore goes, if you're into that type of thing. So make sure, you know, to get around to playing Bloodborne. Now we're going to get to the top 5. This is where things are going to start getting really interesting. At number 5 is Unravel, because the game right now is only $5 in the American store. It's pretty much a steal. In Europe it's still 20 euros, sadly. So, you know, also there still wants a, you know, a bit of a steep price. But Unravel, you know, I remember it so well, because the game was announced at like the EA press conference with this nervous guy and whatever. That's still what I remember so well from it. But it just turned out to be a very fun platform, also beautifully made. Like, the graphics in that game are pretty insane, and it's just all around fun to play. And, you know, like I said, a super well made game. For $5 you can barely go wrong there. So if this is a game that you've always wanted to, you know, check out, now really is the time to do so. €5 in the American store. At number 4 is a Battlefield 4 and Hardline bundle, which is currently on sale for just $7.50 in the American store and €10 in the European store. So, you know, cheap wherever, regardless of where you're from, pretty much. I'm not sure how, of course, how it counts for other regions, sadly, but you're gonna have to kind of look into that for yourself. Yeah, I mean, Battlefield 4 is still, to me, a classic. It's pretty much like, you know, it was a launch game for the PS4 that immediately showed what that system was capable of, with 64-player battles, just epic skill, of course, vehicle and infantry warfare. The graphics are insane in that game. It runs in 60 frames. You can go on and on. That game is just kind of like a technical masterpiece, and if you've never gotten around to playing a Battlefield game, now's the time to really jump into it, because yeah, for this super small price, you just can't go wrong here either, you know. I mean, Hardline wasn't really, you know, it seemed to be a little hit or miss. I actually never played it myself, but just for Battlefield 4 alone, this bundle is already worth it, because the price is just, you know, barely a big deal, right? So yeah, make sure to get that for sure as well. Then at number 3 we have one of the best games of last year for sure, Ratchet and Clank. This is a European deal going on right now. You can get the game for €14 in the PlayStation Store, and actually for $20 still in the American store, which, you know, both of these prices, like, the game is easily worth that. It's just simply one of the best games that I've played last year. Brings back the old school fun of, you know, the platforming genre. Great action gameplay to it as well, made by Insomniac, of course. It's just a classic. It's a remake of, you know, like, of the first game in one of the best franchises, in my opinion, over the last, you know, last couple of decades, I guess, already, because it's been, you know, it started off with the PS2. Yeah, I mean, like, a super fun game to play. Make sure to get it. Also looks amazing on the PS4. It's just great fun. It's gonna just, you know, it's gonna really provide that awesome throwback to the classic old games that we all enjoyed many years ago. Then at number 2, this is a very personal pick. It's a game where I understand why it's so cheap right now in sale, because it didn't really perform well both critically and commercially, but Mirror's Edge Catalyst right now is $5, and for a AAA game like that, come on, like, people really need to bite the bullet and actually get it right now. I, of course, really enjoyed the original Mirror's Edge game. Catalyst was a little hit or miss. It just didn't feel as special, and the story definitely suffered, but it still reminded me of why I enjoyed the original game so much, and that was for the awesome first-person parkour gameplay. And Catalyst is no different there. It still offers that, and maybe even with some additional gameplay elements, it's even better in that regard, you know. I also thought that the open world itself While it is a little small, it still has some really cool secret spots and things to uncover, so I thought the design was quite genius there. And like I said, $5, now's the time to try out Mirror's Edge for sure. Regardless of what people say about this game, it's easily worth the $5, like seriously. And in Europe right now it's 10 euros, so that's also super cheap. Make sure to get the game and see if Mirror's Edge is the type of game that you would enjoy. And then at number 1, this is a very safe pick, and the only reason why I decided to put it at number 1 is simply for the quality of these games. I don't think many of you have not played this yet, but Uncharted the Nathan Drake collection is on sale for just $8 as well, and that means simply said that you're getting 3 of the best games of last generation remastered in 1080p, 60 frames per second. They're a blast. They're, like I said, just some of the best games ever made in my opinion, especially Uncharted 2 of course. And so if you for some reason never got around to playing any of the older Uncharted games, or maybe you're the type of fan that simply wasn't really interested in the Nathan Drake collection for the high price when you've already played those games, now for $8, you know, you can play these remasters in their full 1080p 60 glory, like I said, and it's no doubt gonna prove to be a blast. In Europe right now it's still 17 euros and 50 cents, so you know, it's not super cheap, but it's still worth the price as well for sure, especially of course if you've never played either one or all of these games. You know, you need to actually give it a go and actually dive into that for sure. So these were the 10 deals that I personally found the most interesting. Let me know if there's any that you heard about that you're now considering actually, you know, picking up any of the games. Would be awesome to see, of course, so let me know that in the comments. And then for now, I want to really quickly also get out of the way that I'd like to thank you for all the awesome support and positive comments to the last video that I did on 10 years of Uncharted, because that video took a super long time to make, and it's the start in what I'm planning to pretty much make a sort of like series going on with massive in-depth videos like that moving forward. So it's been awesome to see, you know, you all sharing those videos with your friends and supporting them with awesome positive comments and likes on the video. It's just been great to see, because that video took a super long time to make. So with that being said, thanks a lot everybody for watching the video. I appreciate it. And then I'm gonna be back in the Netherlands very soon, this Sunday actually, so the schedule is gonna start picking up from then on again. So for now, thanks a lot for watching and hope to see you again next time.